The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.
Okay, we're starting to see outrageous responses about the Supreme Court's ruling on the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, from the right wing. I have a bunch of these examples to talk to you about. It didn't take long for a former Republican Party spokesperson. This is Matt Davis, a Michigan attorney who was once Michigan's Republican Party spokesman. He says, you know what? This Supreme Court ruling is angering him so much that maybe an armed rebellion would be in order. What's better, Lewis, than taking it to violence to get rid of the anger that is presented when people are given health care?
Certainly seems to be a popular right-wing sentiment.
Yeah, well, that's certainly they wouldn't want you to think that. And he put out this email where he questions whether an armed rebellion would now be justified given the court's decision. And Davis sent this just moments after the Supreme Court issued their decision. And it goes on to talk about President Obama's election as the end point of what Davis describes as a 100-year progressive trek to tyranny, before questioning whether the best way to turn over the ruling would be via an armed rebellion. Interesting. He says, if government can mandate that I pay for something I don't want, then what is beyond its power? If the Supreme Court's decision Thursday paves the way for unprecedented intrusion into personal decisions, then has the Republic all but ceased to exist? If so, then is armed rebellion today justified? There's an idea getting very, very violent as a response to people being treated somewhat more like human beings by the for-profit healthcare system. Then conservative Ben Shapiro
Not to mention the members of this armed rebellion would be slaughtered.
And they presumably would need healthcare then.
Yes, especially if maimed and they survive.
But you won't get it from Republicans.
Imagine that, them being treated by the healthcare plan that they're trying to kill people to oppose.
We have a fascinating story about that tomorrow. Conservative Ben Shapiro, we have the tweet up here, Natan, if you want to get a look at it. This is the greatest destruction of individual liberty since Dred Scott. This is the end of America as we know it. No exaggeration. Really, the end of America. I mean, all these conservatives so angry, Lewis, about this healthcare reform.
Good.
I'd say maybe they should move to Canada the way progressives like to threaten to, except Canada is even more liberal. They wouldn't be happy there. Maybe what's a really conservative nation? I mean, maybe like Saudi Arabia or North Korea or Iran, except a lot of those institute, when it's Christian versions of Sharia law, a lot of these Republicans are fine with it. But when they have to deal with the real Sharia law, all of a sudden they're not that into religion playing a big role in government anymore.
Right.
Pretty interesting.
But we're used to this.
Yeah, no question about it.
Yeah.